Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to those of you just joining for the first time. Thank you once again for joining me for another vlog, and I just pray that you guys have been blessed by the vlogs that I've been doing so far. And please, if you have any suggestions, please feel free. I am always here to think ways of improving, and ultimately it's for God's glory. So anything that you're impressed by or anything like that, please do get in touch with me. And even if it's just for a prayer request that you have, something you would like me to pray on for your behalf or on your behalf, please get in touch with me. But this vlog is going to be a kind of a life update one, but I just hope you guys are blessed by it and encouraged by what I have to share with you today.
Story goes, it took a long time, only God knows, but it's alright, but it's okay, because I'm here to encourage y'all.
So this vlog, I would say, like, I have done vlogs before where it's been hard, but I think this one is particularly hard because it's one that I'm currently still going through, and I could say at this point in time it really feels like I'm in a valley situation. So we talk about being on hills or mountains and in valley situations, and yeah, this one has been a hard one. I'll try and go in as much detail as possible, but because it's still kind of that kind of situation, I don't know how to explain it, but please just bear with me. So I cannot remember if I have told you guys about this one in a previous vlog, and I told you about getting another job, but then how I was being so ungrateful about it, complaining about it. So basically what I just want to share with you guys is that I no longer unfortunately have that job. So this is something I'll talk about in a later vlog. When I went to Big Church Day Out, after that I found that I had COVID. And the symptoms weren't as bad as my January experience, and as I said, all of this stuff I'll go into depth in another vlog. So it wasn't as bad. That initial kind of infection wasn't as bad. Like, I did feel a bit tired and stuff like that, but kind of just similar to how I usually feel on a day-to-day, but apart from the cold symptoms as well. So yeah, I was off sick for that. So I had to isolate for that for 5 days, I think it is in England now. So I isolated and I was all ready and set to go back to work. And then unfortunately, like those of you that have been watching and know how I am already, unfortunately that was an end. So after I tested negative, I actually started to feel worse than I did when I actually was positive for COVID. I started having breathlessness, chest pains, but as I said, I'll go into more detail in another vlog. And basically, it got to the point that I ended up going to hospital, to A&E, I think I can't remember what Wednesday, but I ended up going to A&E because I tried to go back into work on the Tuesday after I tested negative, and it just wasn't working. I only lasted for half a day. Then I had to go home because I was in pain and I couldn't breathe properly. And then, as I said, I'll go into more depths in another vlog. So basically, long story short, I ended up being signed off work for a week, and that turned into 2 weeks. And basically within this 2-week period of me being signed off, the kind of company I was with, I don't want to like badmouth a company or anything like that, because that's just, there's no point in doing so, and it's not what God would want me to do. And yeah, so basically, long story short, as I said, sorry, I'm just rambling a lot. As I said, it's something I'm actually still going through because I kind of just found out. Yeah, it's just not particularly supportive, and yeah, I knew that this was a temporary job potentially, but it was kind of sad because I was like, finally, God, I got a breakthrough. Like, I haven't been able to work for a little while. And then once again, health came into the mix, and it's just been, sorry guys, it's just been one of those low times where I've been struggling both physically and mentally. Sorry guys. Because it can be so hard sometimes when you know that you can do it, like in your mind you're saying I can do it, but your body just doesn't reciprocate that. And it feels like it's been one of those seasons again, where health kind of gets in the way of stuff, and I have been struggling. I'm not gonna, as I said, I try to be as open and honest with you guys, and I have been struggling spiritually, I've been struggling mentally, physically, even whilst working, and then getting COVID again hasn't been like the best. And I basically want to encourage you guys with this, that even when you're going through your valley season, your times of darkness and your times where you're like, God, like I was doing so well before, and then another trial came, another problem, another situation, and I don't understand what you're doing, I don't know where this is going, I don't know what is happening, that God is with you and God cares about you. And this is actually is an encouragement to myself as well, because sometimes even I forget when I'm having those low seasons like now. I sometimes forget and I'm just like, God, you feel so far away from me. And then God reminded me of this verse, and it's one that was actually in the quarterly that I've been studying, so I kind of went into depth about this in another vlog about the quarterly. So it's basically like set lesson studies to go over, and then we go over them in Sabbath school, so the bit before the main service on the Sabbath. But one of the Sabbath school quarterlies was talking about Psalms 23, and I think it's one that I take for granted. I think there are a lot of verses that I take for granted, but God brought this back to memory today, and I'm just going to read one part of it, but I think the whole of Psalm 23 is amazing, like all of God's word anyway. There's always gems in everything, but Psalms 23:4 is the one that I want to share with you guys, and it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And I feel like you guys can kind of understand where I'm going with this verse, but I feel like the reason and the reason behind why God made this verse kind of pop out to me again, as I said, I was learning it for the quarterly, and then when I got this news and I just felt so overwhelmed and everything, it just reminded me that, first of all, which is a big thing that I think I sometimes forget, is that God never tells us that bad things are not going to happen just because we are Christian, just because we follow him, that we're not going to get in situations that hurt, situations that don't fully make sense. We're not going to have perfect lives all the time, and that there are going to be valleys, there are going to be ditches, there are going to be places where we fall, but there are also going to be places where we feel like we're on top of the world. That's the first thing. And then it talks about God being with us, God not only being with us but comforting us. And I personally found comfort in this today when I'm recording this, and this is the day before you guys will see it. I found comfort in it when I just had one of those low moments, because it just reminded me that yes, okay, I'm going through a difficult time, and I've been going through difficult times in and out, like many of you guys probably too, but it just reminded me that yes, Chelsea, you are going through difficult times. Yes, you are going through difficult times that are watching. You may be in a good season right now, and we thank God for that. But if you are going through difficult times now, and even if you're going through good times, God is still with you, and God is still a God of comfort, and he cares for you. And the fact that he's written it in his word is just as much as him writing it in stone, because once God has said it, it will not return void, and that we can believe and trust that it is true. So I guess the encouragement that I want to give to you from kind of my own life and my life update is just to keep holding on. It's something that my older sister said, and it just keeps ringing in my head. Just keep holding on. As hard as it is, as hard as it feels, just to keep holding on. Because you know what? It's the best place to be, especially when you feel like you have no other options, when you don't know what to do, when everything just feels like it's too much. Just keep holding on, because God will never leave us nor forsake us. He tells us in his word, and whatever God says, we know that it is true. Whatever God says will be done. Whatever God says will be fulfilled. And just as I go through struggles, I know that you guys go through struggles too. And I guess it sounds kind of weird to say it this way, but we can kind of find comfort in the fact that, first of all, we're not going through it alone, because God is always with us, but also that other people can understand. Because even if your situation is not exactly the same as mine, or not exactly the same as someone else's, we all go through struggles, we all go through trials, we all go through temptations. Even Jesus himself went through them too. So because we all go through these things, to some extent we can understand. So I just once again want to leave you with this, that God is with you. God loves you, God comforts you, and whatever he has said will be done. Whatever he has said is true. So those of you in that valley situation, keep holding on. Your mountain, your hill is coming. And for those of you that are in your top mountain experiences, be thankful to God, because it is God that has placed you there. So guys, I'm sorry that I was a bit emotional, but thank you for bearing with me. And I just ask that you guys will please continue to pray for me. And I will continue to pray for you as well. And as I said at the beginning, if you have any prayer requests, please do get in touch. I love to pray for other people, and I would love to pray for you. But yes, sorry guys again. But I will see you guys by the grace of God in 2 weeks' time. And thank you once again. Bye guys.
But it's alright, but it's okay, because I'm here to encourage you.